Hello everyone, welcome back. The ACT Day 3 session. So thank you so much team. This is second week. We did a few sessions last week. So let's take a recap of what we did team. Good part is we maintaining everything in the Google Drive, and each of you are also maintaining your folders team, and that is very critical. Keep doing that. Let's look at our notes from the first 2 days very quickly to see what we did. So all the links that I started putting, I'm removing them from here, team, from day one. And just letting you know, there is another document. Actually, you know what? I'll not change anything here. Let them be here as well. There is another document that I created here called ACT Important Links. These are the links to each document. Some have view rights for you, some have write access. This document, you should all be able to view, team. I don't want you to make any changes by mistake, because I know that you're using a lot of tools and applications probably for the first time, and you may make human errors, and that is feasible. That is bound to happen. What we're trying to do is be very organized, because you're beginning the learning curve. When you go towards interviews and projects, you want to be able to go back and refer, team. So your learning should be permanent. All that information, documentation, notes, assignments, everything. Okay. Now out here, let's look at what all did we keep. General housekeeping, more in terms of your attitude and your involvement, how we work on discipline, interaction, notes, and so on. We have created a few good ones. I like this assignment document that is coming across. Some of you have put it here, worked on them. For those of you who have not worked, please do this, team. So we finished the day 1, day 2, and these are the 3 assignments. They primarily will tell what all did we cover. The first assignment is to write a few manual test cases for the application and a test called glassdoor.com. Just simple manual tests that makes it easy for us to look at how this application is working. So a lot of you have put in efforts into that. Good job, team. I think we will be uh, crossing the boundary, going to the next level based on this. Let's go to this. The second assignment was something I asked you all to do, only to the adding your Selenium IDE and Catalan to your browser as an extension. Okay, install extension rather than anything, team. So I'm going to say that. And I'm assuming that you've all completed this as well. I've seen some of you have gone ahead, both the morning and evening batches, wherein you said, okay, you know what, let me play around, let me try and start asking questions. So we will get towards them in a very structured way today, team. The third one was for you to sign up with a free account with AnyAUT with using your credentials, and ensure that you have your dashboard ready. So these are the things that you have to be prepared, team. For those of you maybe joining for the first time, make sure that you go back to these links and walk through them. All right. So we did a few on day 1, team, and a lot of activities that we did are there in the videos. Now is the time for you to start focusing on even the what was that? Um, class notes, team. Somewhere we have to talk about class notes. For each and every day, we need class notes. Now, here is day 2. Whatever we discussed in day 2 is not documented. Okay, it is just a summary of some notes that I've taken. I want you all to take notes, especially from day 3. Can you either take notes here or later? But these are class notes. For the entire class, this will be common. Okay, so please keep it in such a way that it is very handy for everyone to use. All right, so how do you want to say main topic? What is it that we'll discuss? And then detailed notes as we go along. Any jargons, terms, acronyms? When we have advantage of close to 100 people attending this training, team, in fact more if you combine the evening batch, I think as a group we can do something for each other that will help us individually. These notes are critical. So far, not much, but now it will become important. So please try and maintain this. I'm gonna put this link and share this for edit. Now see team, I'm giving you all access live to edit this. So please be very cautious. Don't start using your keyboard and mouse and typing everywhere. Okay. As we go along, let's talk about it. I'm going to be in control of this document for now, and I want to start typing. Okay. I don't want anyone else to edit this, please. So just keep that with you. Here's my day 3 link. Okay. City day 3 with class notes. All right. So let's now get into the topic and talk about what really is it that we want to do, team. We will focus on basics of automation. First of all, we'll talk about why manual to automation. Why manual to automation? And the next one is how will we do how manual to automation? And finally, we need to talk about Selenium IDE as an automation testing tool. All right. And then we need to get into element identifications, team. This is an art, okay? And I want you to master this. If you master this, from my perspective, at least 30% of AnyAUT certification is kind of covered through it, okay? Other things are more concepts. Now let's talk about this basics of automation, team. Can I get a few test cases from assignment 1 as links to me in chat, please? I would want to show what we've done manually. And then talk about, oops, I am recording this. You scared me, Ajiro. You asked me a question, are you recording, Karthik? I'm like lost it for a second. Did I lose that? So I see one from Shri. I don't know, Shri, if this is yours. Let's see. Uh, I I don't know if you share it this way to me, team. I will get it. Let's see. Yeah, I see this. Okay, nice. Shri, I'm glad you're keeping it as a folder. That's the first feedback. You've everything here. And I see there's some screenshots. Maybe this is of the application under test, what you in AnyAUT. So modules, test cases. There's nothing for dashboard yet. But I like it that you are started to fill in the details into the application. That's a great job, team. Let me not run ahead. So I see two Excels. I'll take the Google Sheet, and in here, nice application test URL industry. Change the format, made it horizontal, cool. Oh wow, we have everything here. This, no, I'll not show you this. This is not an Excel for meeting. This is an automated one from AnyAUT. I need the one where you wrote manual tests. Sirisha, I'm trying yours now. But good job, Steve. Very nice. I like what I'm seeing. We're going to get there now. By end of this week, team, you're going to be, today is going to be a very busy day. Today's session. I have exactly 45 minutes. I'm going to go very rapidly onto it. Sirisha is saying, Saroja, I'm going to try yours. Keep your folders at your side. Only when I need, you provide it. I don't have permission, Saroja. You need to see, why are you not able to share a folder with me? It is so simple. Look at the screen, all of you, and then share it with me. Let us say I want to share this entire team folder with you all. Okay. I will right click on it and say share. And in this share, there are only three options. They can see or they cannot. Okay. Or they don't have access. I just want view access. Copy that link, put it in the chat, send it. Okay, team, if we cannot, I cannot do spoon feeding for small steps. Okay, and we're working in a very, very fast environment. So please make sure you're giving me the right details. Now, come on, guys. Okay. I don't see an Excel file here. Why am I seeing something that is irrelevant? Guys, I'm not happy. Very unhappy. I'm not happy. I'm really not. I mean, we had 4 live sessions. I've been taming you. See, this is good. AUT manual testing, Anthony, from the side. It's very nice. This is something I like. Let's look at this. Great. So what we did, Anthony, feedback, change these names, please, from copy of AUT and so on. But this is good. We have the application and details, all the modules, about 4 test cases, and the copy of, not copy, the test steps for it, right? So this is good, team. Let us observe this as a manual process. What did I tell you, team? We have to, be able to look at this application, switch between the steps, perform each and everything manually, and put the results back here. So my major challenge that I have, what is there? Human driven, well documented, I'll not talk about. Why are we trying to move from manual to automation, team? Let's look at it. Gets longer to run repeated tests. Primarily, it is about speed is one issue, team. The amount of time, now look at this, switching within the Windows process. I'm using Alt Tab in my keyboard, and I'm switching between this window and my application. I have to go here, look at these details. Now click on jobs is the third step. So I click on jobs, I'm here, but see, I'm already logged in, I think. So I need to make sure the test is prepared. There's so many things to do. Now I've come to the main page, click on jobs. I've done that. Then type QA engineer, Connecticut, get the job details, 335. QA engineer, Connecticut. And we may get a different number because that'll change. Now we have 327 jobs there. But that is what we're trying to verify. And we go here, actual result is 327. I can't write on Anthony US. And hence it's a failure. Now, each time I have to take steps manually, okay? And there is an issue with correctness. I can make human errors while, and team, remember all of these, because unless you know the real pain of why we're getting into automation, everything will not fall into place. Doing copy paste, team. A lot of times, all I do to be fast QA engineer is I'll go here, copy this, paste it, copy paste, switch between windows and so on. Because I have so many tests to do in the real world, team. It'll get annoying. The second issue, copy paste, human errors. Second is someone's again trying to take access. Come on, guys. Um, Tired and sleepy eyes, and this becomes a big problem, team. If you're doing the same process over and over again, a human will kind of tend to get bored. There is no real, how do you say, variation to the job, and it can be extremely tiring for your eyes, team, and this leads to issues. The other challenge that we will find, speed, as I said, takes a long time. Lot of speed issues. We'll talk about them one by one. Gets longer to run repeated tests. Repeated tests is primarily saying, right now I have 4 test cases. At the moment, manually we just executed job TC2 and we saw that the result was a failure. I have to repeat all of these steps also. So I have to go through everything. Now this is for today. Tomorrow I may come back and have to rerun all of these. But then I realized there are not 4 test cases, there are 20 test cases. Then what do I do? I have to run all of them again. So what I ran yesterday may fail today. I have to repeat the tests. Okay. What ran yesterday may fail today. And that's a big problem, team, in the testing world. Anytime if you're a QA engineer and people keep asking about why do we need testing effort, is it critical, what are we really trying to do? Development is doing all the hard work. What ran yesterday may not run today, team, and that's a very, very fair statement. The industry is not fools to pump in billions of dollars into this market. Now it is turn to get smarter about it. Then comes the issue with reusability. Takes time to prepare and manually test each scenario. Okay, it's just not execution. So we spoke about speed as an issue with human executions. We spoke about correctness as an issue, and I'm talking about reusability, team. And this is a big problem. When it's a manual process, unluckily, there's nothing much in terms of what we can say as reusability. It is always we need to start from scratch each time. All right. Nothing built earlier can get used in future. This is a hard, I would say, and not a true statement, even for manual testing team. Always remember, while we're going towards the automation testing, if we don't have the core of manual performance, manual testing, then it is not going to fit in team. And that is something we will really take it as a very serious action. Okay. How do we make sure that we reuse a lot of these things manually? Writing right kind of test cases, test steps is the beginning. Okay. Now comes the challenges in terms of the basics of manual. Any process of automation, team, if we go back and look at it, let's take fish paint, maybe it's fine. Team, I have like a hard stop in at 9:30 my time. I have a meeting, but we're going to get to Selenium IDE in the next 2-3 minutes. Here's a manual thing. What's a manual thing? Take a car manufacturing thing, take a cell phone or smartphone manufacturing, or take even a healthcare industry. All right. Any of these systems, healthcare devices, and so on, will do with a factory of laborers all across the factory. They have different units, production lines. Each is doing its own section of activities. And then there are machines that help them. When it comes to automation, what is the primary team? Is it to reduce the manpower, or is it to make it more efficient and robust? I think both ways. Once the manual process is understood, we know that, okay, this is A, B, C, and then D. This is how the flow happens. We could talk about steps towards automation, team. When it comes to our zone of automation testing, we have to talk about what is it that we are doing manually first, write those as test cases. And then we talk about how is it that we can automate. Is there a tool or a system that can do what I am doing? And that's where your Selenium IDE comes. So for any web-based application, any web app, you can use this to see if your test scenarios can be automated. What do I mean, team? Selenium is a tool that is primarily, let's go to a new screen. Oops, I closed it, or it closed on me. All right. So team Selenium, what is it that it's trying to do? Its main objective. Its main objective is very simple, team. It is saying that, hey, you know what? There is a web application all right, and your application and a test is there in this. I will write the set of code that will let me interact with it. So this communication that can happen between your web browser and your instructions are handled through Selenium. The first thing, team, I'm assuming that you've all downloaded Selenium onto your machine. So I would want you to ensure that let's go to opening up the IDE. What Selenium does is multitude things, team. Let's take a look at how manual to automation. How do we move? I'll talk about it. What are the three things we use? Selenium IDE for. Okay, I'll write them down so you know where we're going. First is record and playback or slash run a test. Same thing I would say is write and playback run a test. You write it. Third is to use for verifying elements and their IDs. For verifying elements, element identification details. People think that this is used for writing, okay, exporting tests from Selenium IDE to Selenium WebDriver. Okay, this is a no, team, from my perspective. Okay, great at the initial instance, but as you go along, you will see that this is not what the industry expects. Okay, you don't even want to be doing even the record and run. So we'll talk about these three things. So for those of you who have been working on Selenium, now we'll understand what we're doing. All right, let's take a first look. So I've started my application. I've launched it. It is there on your browser as an add-on. If you don't have it, all you do is search and say, I need Selenium, come on, IDE on Chrome. You get a link, follow it. Simple steps to get this as an extension on your browser. Once you have it, you can launch it. Here is a welcome screen that's coming up. It says record a new test in a new project, open, close. Let us start with the first thing, team, about recording a new test. Now, in this section of recording, yes, not a industry need, for your learning, team. Keep this for your learning. This is not for the industry. One second, team. I'm sorry. So for the record and playback or run, what is it that we're trying to achieve? Selenium IDE, I'll just say Cell IDE, acts like an amazing learner, team. So we are its teacher. It can recognize your actions on the browser as during the record process. Okay, it is nothing but Selenium learn and note down all that I do on the application test as automation steps. It is that simple, team, and it works. And that was phenomenal. When people saw this for the first time eons back, they were like, Zap, wow, this is good. And this was not the first recording tool, team. There was HP Mercury was there, Mercury Windrunner, HP QTP, UFT, now Micro Focus. All these tools rely on this aspect that, hey, easiest thing fun is to record. What does it mean? In my screen, the first option, the three options that are coming up in this latest version, team, I hope they keep improving and coming up with better, because it's important. Um, I'm going to take the first one, record a new test in a new project. I can open a project if I have it, or I can close the Selenium IDE project or close Selenium IDE. Okay, I'm going to record a new test in a new project. Let us give it a name, team. Very nicely, I'll say GD cell automation _1. That's my name. Is it okay? Is it accepting? I think so. What is the website? https://www.glassdoor.com. Ensure that you always try and take that effort to give the full URL, team. Some tools may accept, some tools may not. So if you see that there's an issue by just giving glassdoor.com, then give the full URL. Now I'm going to click on start recording. At this time, Selenium IDE launched the browser, a new browser, and it has actually navigated to the web application called Glassdoor. Let me move this to the side, and now let's look at Selenium IDE, team. The whole IDE, from a perspective of for us to understand, is broken down into three sections for me, team. The first is where we talk about all the tests and write. The second is this section where we do at each step what is happening. All right. The third is the bottom one, which is right now not having much details, the log and reference. Okay. Once you master these three things, it is pretty much done. Okay. The easiest among them is the first one. Like we wrote our tests in a structured way, naming and so on. That is the same way it wants it to organize it here. Okay, we'll talk about this. This specific section, the second section that I'm talking about, becomes a little bit more critical, team. This is where a lot of hard work will go and the logic will come. Third one is when we're executing, how do we keep interacting, seeing what is happening? All right, that's how the IDE looks. I'm going to erase all these drawings. It is right now in a mode where you see the blinking red, that is recording. Let me keep this in the recording mode. Let me get my application back to highlight. Okay, all I want to do is be able to see what is happening to my Selenium IDE while I play around with this application. I'm going to randomly run a few things and see what happens, team. So I want to go to salaries and click on it. Okay. When I clicked on salaries, these three columns which were empty earlier, the command target value, now seem to be storing some information. All right. Sorry, team. And that is great because that's the first steps towards automation. If this is not happening, please check something must be not correct. Close all your windows, close Selenium IDE, then start again. It should typically work. All right. What's my next step? There are three things that came up here. See, 1, 2, 3, and that's fine. Let us say I'm looking for Selenium. The Selenium. Oh no, salaries, right? No, automation engineer, QA automation engineer. And see, three more steps came up. And here I'll write San Francisco, California, and selecting this and clicking on it. Now, team, humanly, how many steps have we performed? About 5, 6 steps, correct? But out here, if you note, it has noted down 13 steps, and that is fine, maybe. I'm going to stop this, team, and I'll give it a name. I'll just say GD. What was the names that we have? Sal. So TC001, I'll say underscore Sal underscore TC001. I can also say this is for SFO. Okay, and save it. Now, let's take a look at what has happened in the Selenium IDE team. What is it that it did? And what is it that we can do from here? First, when we opened and we gave the project name, that came here. Great. Under this project called GD Selenium Automation, it wants us to create multiple tests. This looks to be the test that we did, highlighted out here. And for this test, this section should be holding the key to what it has done. All that performing that it has to do is completed execution, and I can stop this recording. Oops, no, it's already recording stopped, right? No, yeah, okay. And I should be able to execute it back, team. So the first part of, hey, Selenium, learn what I'm doing is done. Now comes the part of running them. Selenium, playback what you learned. That's the second feature in it. What is it that we will do? I have a play button here. Can you see this? Run current test. I'm going to click on it. It says preparing to run your test. It's opening the website, still loading the page. It's gone to salaries page, and I can see that there are a few steps that are working here and not necessarily working here. Okay, good. Now is the time for us to understand where the master, we as a master trainers come into place. All right, Selenium, what's your problem? What is it that you didn't learn? It was so simple, you couldn't do that. Okay, what is your problem? Let us see. The first thing that we need to know, team, is the color variations. Green during an execution. See, I hit on this run and it started going each step at a time, making those actions happen on the application. If the step worked fine, it wrote it as green. If the step didn't work fine, it wrote it as red. Just like how we wanted to signify for each step, hey, what happened? Everything okay? Is there an error? All right. Now, the ones in red, what is that? Something failed, team, in the application. It wanted to do a certain action, but it could not. And it said, you know what? I'm sorry, I give up. And this is the error. At this point, it could not go further with the execution. So it stopped the test. It does not know how to handle exceptions, cannot handle exceptions, or know what to do if tests fail, stop abrupt. Could be an application issue, team. Okay. Um, Now, how do we fix this? I honestly, team, I wanted Selenium to learn things simple and do it. It did not. I'm going to keep this as is. I will start one more test, team. Let me show you what I'll do. Create new project. No, under this project, I want to add a new test. Test. How will I add a new test? Okay, I've saved the project. Where will I put it? Let me go to our. Give me a minute, team. SLT, I think. SLT, I have a lot of other things here. ACT. Oh no, I'll not put it here. Is there a folder here? No. Let me create a folder. I'll need a folder anyway. ACT November 2018 live training. And in this GD underscore Selenium Automation 1 as a project. See that extension is .side, and I'm 99% sure it is Selenium IDE. It stands for, and I'm saving this. Okay. Now my project is saved with one test case that did not execute. Let us try one more, team. I'm going to create a new project and I'll say simple, let's try AnyAUT, for example. https://world.anyauth.com. Same thing, record. Okay, so, oh, it didn't. This time it didn't see. Why? It didn't. Because it was not the welcome screen. That's fine. I'll keep it here. And I'll say, what are you doing? Record it myself. Okay, I'll put this URL. Now it's giving start recording. Browser opened. I'm going to resize this browser a little bit. I hope it doesn't capture. Okay, it didn't capture that so far. I'll click on login. I will write some blah, 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 and another blah, blah, blah. It's already giving sign in. That is sad. And it says it has an issue, right? So I can stop this recording and name it as AnyAUT login one. All right. Let me delete this. Let me delete the steps and keep this. Now, when I execute this test, it should be able to execute all the steps with ease team. And once done, it will show you a report where everything is green. All right. This basically says that each and every step worked fine. Then you have something called as your log under this. So your test case is here. Each step is here as to what it is doing. And in the log is where for each step, what happened, it kind of captures it. Each step was okay. This was my AnyAUT login one. Now, let's open that earlier project that we did. C drive, ACT. How did I save that AnyAUT? And now here, if you notice, let's rerun this test. The same log that you saw was all green would now probably have a red out here and it would stop. So this was the log from AnyAUT login. That's fine. Here is where we're starting the new one. This is okay, this is okay, this is okay, and this failed team. So the great feature about Selenium is the fact that it can report back on steps for each as log files. So that is a cool feature that is critical team. That okay, whatever is happening, I know what is happening. So I'm able to in certain way understand that yes, only to a certain extent Selenium IDE can interact with my application and a test. Now comes the second portion where we have to at least be able to edit. Now this is what, okay, what are the things? To be able to write and playback or run a test team. So we did a simple recording. You first have to understand what is what. Then we will need to make changes to existing tests and start writing new tests and gradually increase the complexities. Okay, all from an Selenium IDE perspective team. How write and playback run a test in Selenium IDE. Let's be clear. Oh, come on. All right, so we've got this going now. I think we've taken a few minutes to understand the UI team, and that is critical. Okay, you know that my test will be here. I can add more tests here. In fact, under this, I don't know why only one is shown. All my steps are going to be here. We will take a deeper look at it. My log is here. All right. We've not yet seen this portion. Now let's try and understand team. What is it that it does? If I needed to execute any of the sheets, like for example, Anthony shared this. Anthony had to just tell me what are the steps and pass that information to me. And I could do it. There are two basic things that got addressed in this team. The first one is, what is it that you want me to do? That question basically answers the big thing as to the main actions that we need to perform. Okay. Let us say open Chrome. or go to an application, okay, or click on jobs. All this are pretty easy for humans to do it. These are instructions, actions that we pass to each other as humans, one human to the other, and we can understand. But for a Selenium tool to understand, it needs one more thing, team, for sure. And that is, where is it? Where is that application? Where is the browser? Where is that login link? Where are all those things? These two become the most important critical thing when we're moving from manual to automation. Okay. In manual, I can be a little bit more non-specific and give it very casual. Okay, open Chrome. But what if I have to send it to a fifth grader who's just started learning? I have to write, go to your system, log in, open your Chrome browser, type this URL, little bit more detailed, ain't it, team? Now, the same gap is there for automation. And that is the reason I'm saying that how do we get from manual to automation is by answering these two questions. What is it that we need to do? Where is it that we need to perform? These are the instructions that I need to pass, team. Okay. Think of it this way. Only if I'm able to pass these instructions, I'm able to achieve all the 6 steps. And each and every step becomes now critical. Now let us understand, where does this fit in? If Selenium IDE has to really understand this application and work accordingly, it must fit in somewhere, ain't it? Where would it fit in? Team, all okay? I've see. Oh, I wrote the folder name wrong. Thank you for correcting. I'll fix that. Um, one second. I don't know how to edit. Why to Skype? Okay, let's keep coming. I don't know how to change it. That's fine. Each and everything here is a step, team. Remember that. Okay. What we are writing in the Excel is a similar thing that you're seeing here. Each and everything is a step. All right. Now, what is it that the user must do is the command, the instruction. Hey, do this, do that, and so on. This is the predominant thing. Now, if my command is to open something or to click on something or to type something or get my mouse down on something and mouse up on something, resize my window, all these things has been captured. Whatever I did manually has got captured and has gone into command. Command is the first building block. What is it that we need to do? Then comes the target, team. Where? This answers the typical question. See, open a browser and go to the home page. Fair. Set window to resize. Fair. Now it's saying click. Click what? What should we click? As per the test steps, it's click on salaries. Okay. If I click on salaries, Selenium needs to know where is salaries in this page, team. Humans, you and I can see it visually, and that is how we know. Okay, I can see salaries. I'll take my mouse there, click it. Selenium is a machine. It does not have eyes. It needs to understand what it does. And what you will keep learning very extensively is it goes to this code. View, right click on this page, say view page source. It goes to this entire thousands of lines of HTML code and tries to identify where this element is. That is what it does. Okay. So it captures that we did this. And if I right click on that element and say inspect, that specific section becomes most important for that application, saying that, okay, you know what, that whatever information regarding that thing could be here. We will look into that now. Okay. Tomorrow we'll focus a lot on element identification, team. Now, in this specific thing, it says that my command is here, and what I do in the target is the thing that I'm saying is the element identification. What is linked text? What is ID? What is CSS? There's no XPath so far. How does this work? How did it identify? Selenium did it since it was recording. In the next class onwards, we have to do it ourselves because we will be masters. In Selenium WebDriver, there'll be nothing like this for you to record. So either you come back here, try and see how to identify elements, or write it. Okay, we'll learn on how to identify. So your what is here and your where is here. If I give these two commands, I'm good and set. Now let us debug and see, team. There is an issue with mouse down, mouse up. Ideally speaking, if I can read English, the first command is open. I have my URL here, which is called the base URL. It is going to the main index.html page. It is setting the window size. Is it important to set window size? Maybe, may not be. It is clicking, I'm assuming salaries. Then it is clicking on ID keyword. I think this is the one. I'm assuming it. How do I know? And that is when, if you look a little below, for every step that you click here, will get highlighted and expanded in this bucket here. So, for example, now, all with me so far? Attentive? All going okay? Just checking quickly. All right. So, if observe team, open, so the command is open, the target is come here. Value is other column which is empty and some other field called description. Okay, cool. Set window size, again the same, it is command come here. Let's look at third step team. Click link text equals salaries. Okay, what is this team? What is it trying to do here? How do I know what is this command? And that is what reference comes in. Whenever you see a command, click on the reference. It will give you a dictionary kind of information about it. Should be very much straightforward. Clicks on a target element. Now, team, note this and keep that in your mind. Elements are the building blocks for any HTML or web page. Okay, we used to call them as objects in HP qtp/UFT. Okay, test objects and so on. What does it mean? From a Selenium perspective, each and everything here is an object or an element. It thinks that, oh, this is an element and so on. Once it is able to individually identify them that way, then it is able to do something on a team. And we will have to talk about OOPS as a concept. Okay, we'll come to that too. Just understand OOPS concepts. I think it will become important. Very right, element identification. Somewhere I wrote element identification. So there's, I think, hands raised and a few questions, not questions, just the confirmation that you're all there. Element, it's an art. Okay. Understanding OOPS is important, team. If you don't understand OOPS, element identification kind of sizzles down. What is OOPS, team? Object oriented programming system. But let us know this as a concept, team. Okay. Now back to a Selenium IDE. In the section here, you see that whatever is the command, my reference is here. Do you notice that this is a drop down here? And this is also editable. So there's click and I can see everything that has the word click. So let us delete this and just play around. I deleted everything and I see a list of few options, actually a lot of them. Maybe 30, 40, maybe 50, 60 could be, yeah. Now these are basically all your commands, team. Okay. Are we supposed to master all of these commands? No. Are we supposed to know what they are, how they are, run tests, note them, see how it's getting recorded, see the log, and be able to learn through references? Yes. If you know the basics of them, it's sufficient, team. Take any of these, and as you keep changing them, it will show you the reference also. So great reading component. But the best way is to record and run unlimited tests, unlimited tests, unlimited applications. That's the best way, team. If you can start working on it, that'll be great. Where are the assignments? I'll just start putting.
So we'll come to this. I'll kind of finish this. Now, so that's a great reference point for you to do self-service when you're doing it. What were we doing here? I think there was a click action. So I'll go take it back to click. The second thing that is very important, team, and this is where we will get smarter as we go, is the next field, target. So whatever I see here is being mentioned here. I don't, what is this? Let me see, enable disable command. I see. So this is a new thing. It's like almost like a breakpoint, I guess. So don't execute that. So that's fine, but I don't need that. So right now I'm leaving it there. Now link text salaries has, this target has two fields on the right. One, it has a drop down. Oh wow, I've not seen this new feature. This is good. And I have a few options of how this element looks. That's good. Now, this is what we will learn, team. The different ways of identifying elements we'll go through tomorrow. Let's not worry about that. These two icons, team. If I say select target in page, I can go click on something and get that details here. If I say find target in page, it will try and locate the target and see if it is visible on the page, team. Do you see that salary is blinking? What? No, 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 no. Where did I go? Oops. I did something wrong. I did something wrong. Okay, let me select target in page like it did and put that here. There you go. The same thing, let's go for keyword search now and say find target in page. Do you see that blinking on job title? And that's good. Now it's saying mouse down and selected something normal. And this step failed, team. Did I actually do a mouse down and not? Maybe, maybe not. But this step, I think I can skip it. So what do? You can right click on your Selenium IDE and say delete that specific command or step. And I want to delete this mouse down. And hence I will also delete the mouse up. I didn't do anything with mouse, team. It was all click and type, right? So it has learned a little bit more than I wanted it to. And that's another challenge that I have. Can learn more steps than necessary. Okay. And that is why I think we're talking about how do we just not record, but also be able to write. So we're trying to understand what it is. And we're trying to make changes to existing tests. Why? Because can learn more steps than necessary. Who can learn Selenium IDE can learn more steps than necessary and may not, may not work. May or may not work. It's the same thing. What does it mean, team? So now I am basically modifying the test so that I can control it to a direction. Okay, Selenium, I won't let you learn blindly. And that is a key thing. Do not let Selenium learn anything blindly. Monitor its learning on IDE. On IDE or WebDriver, you can never let go. You have to be the person in control. Now here is a completed execution that's done totally. All right. Step 1 all the way to 9 executed with a lot of clarity, and it did it very, very quickly. There is one feature here where you can change the execution speed from fast to slow and so on. And there is run the current test that I showed you, team. All right. Now, how does each of these targets apply and how does it come here is important. This is only one test. If I need to add a new test, I'll just say sample test. And I can write my commands. I'll say open just this, and I'll not say, okay, let's leave it as glass door. The next command is gonna be click, where I want to click on interviews. So I can maybe select the target in page. Hello, not you. Select target in. Why is this? Okay, I don't want that. select target in page, and come on. And it's going here again. Why is it going there? Select target. See, that's where they get buggy, team. And like, yeah, they get buggy. Click somewhere else. Okay. If I know where I want to click, that is where I would write it. So instead of this select, which is troubling me, I could have just, let's see, Glassdoor, what did I want to do? I want to click on interviews. So, and here, it's going to interviews. There you go. Link text interviews. See, the first test just said link text salaries. So whatever is there here, it is also here. There does not seem to be all math. There seem to be some simple English like logic. See, link text is interviews. Maybe that is how it is using to search. In fact, it is, but how do we know that? That is important. So let's say I clicked on interviews team. Okay. On interviews, is there something that I can do here which is different? Let's say I want to click on share your experience. That is the third step. So again, click. So instead of recording this time, I am writing it using the features that are there. So it has got something totally different. Looks technical, Greek and Latin, doesn't matter. I am in command control because I can execute this. What else do I want to do? Once I click on this, what happens? Let's see. So see how I'm navigating between the manual test and automated. And I may want to click on this company review. Let's say another click. And here you go. See how precisely I'm doing? I'm not pointing company review or salary. My mouse goes precisely to that. Okay, it says ID reviews. Cool. Now my test seems to be kind of ready. How about executing it? Let's save this. All right, thank you. This is the mistake I made, right? 2018. Could it let me change the files that open? All right, so this is there. Now let's execute. Maybe a little slower, so I can reduce the speed. It is just about how fast can we see. If you see a big form with a lot of fields, you will see super fast execution by Selenium. We basically lower the speed because we are debugging. We are looking at how it is running. I am not totally confident. Once our tests pass, where we know, yes, it is doing certain things, then I could talk about fastening it, making it faster for execution. But they have to run correctly. That's great. So now a sample test. What was this that we did? Interviews come. So I can rename this, maybe right click rename, and I'll keep it exactly that way. GD underscore sal. No, this is what let me forget, interviews underscore TC001 underscore, what is it that I did? Company review. So can you imagine now, team, how many test cases could be there for this application? Thousands, team, thousands of them. So it takes a lot of effort to test each and every cook manually. Okay, now we have our testing all set out here. Oops, come on. Why is it taking me to this folder? See, a lot of bugs still. I don't want to overwrite them. And I've created two testing, one by record and the other, and then I edited that also, and the other by writing them myself. And that is what you have to do, team. I want you to take up the second assignment. Where is it now? All's gone. Drive dot. And team, I have a hard stop. So I don't think I'll be able to honor questions today. I will start tomorrow's sessions if possible with questions. Okay. I'm already beyond my hard stop. Uh, assignments. Assignments. Any emergency questions for anyone, please? Assignment 4, record and run as many tests in Selenium IDE. Understand different commands. Store them as side projects. Okay, understand different commands and play around. Add elements, inspect, find elements using IDE team. All right, write your own tests. This will be assignment 4, very critical. Whatever I've shown, you have to practice. All right, everyone. Can we end today's session? And I'll see you back, all of you, again tomorrow. We'll continue from where we are. You can use any of, no, use Selenium IDE. Don't use AnyAUT for this, please. Only Selenium IDE for this. Okay, because AnyAUT is later. This is just Selenium IDE. By the time you finish this assignment, you will basically be in a position to record tests, write simple tests, be able to interact using these two fields to find target in the application and create tests. So basics of automation is done. If you just know record and you observed, right, some of the steps failed earlier, so you can't always rely on them. And that is the reason you will go through this process. Once you finish this, anything else is feasible. If you don't finish this, then nothing is feasible in automation. Link for installations, I don't know what is that basic question that you're asking me. What is link for installations? Installing what? Installing what, team? I'm showing everything, it's all here. All right, please check the documentation. Come on, team. I don't expect people to jump in first day and say, where are the links? I'm giving you everything that is there. You have to follow the process. This is a training program. It is not a laid back approach. Oh, provide me, spoon feed me, spoon feed me. Wake up, team, please. I have all the links here. I'm again sharing with you. You can only view. Click on this document, open this document and help yourself. All right. I'm sure that this is an important training. All the links are here. Please go back, look at interacting with on this. And team, I need to do some team formations. Let's focus on that today evening or tomorrow. I'll do that. All right, team. Let me answer these questions again, please. Okay. Please do not write to learn@itlearn.com with all basic questions. You're bombarding for unnecessary reasons. Something like this. I received an email that I sent the link to them. Can you please provide the email ID to update assignments and send you Google Drive link? I don't want you to. Is that clear, team? Do not share anything with me. You don't need my email address. Keep everything with you. When I'm asking you to show, then you showcase. When you get into the project, then you showcase to everyone. Okay? I don't want to offhand review from an emails and so on. Keep your contacts through the session. Get your questions to me correctly or put it in the FAQ. I'm not sharing a Google Drive or an email ID with you. Is that clear for once and all? Just the AACT important links. It is your responsibility to keep them correct. Once you form teams, we will go and review them. Okay, you will know it if it's working or not. I don't even have to review it, but keep working and creating them at your end, team. Thank you, everyone. Bye then. See you tomorrow.